7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You can't believe what just happened! What a time to be alive!
Strike up the band, strike up the band. It's time for a player's perspective. It's Thursday, baby. We are back in the house at Seven Springs Studio, coming to you live and direct on Facebook Live. We're coming live and direct on YouTube, live and direct on Instagram, and live and direct on Spreaker. Say Solo.
What's up, sir?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay.
You doing okay?
As good as I can do.
You see, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I
see you trying to get yourself up. You're trying to liven it up a little bit. You know, everything. You know.
We dropped that mic a little bit there, Kim. A little hot up here.
Yeah, but it's okay. I thought Kim was getting ready to take us somewhere. I was like, oh my God.
It's the big countdown.
There you go.
Well, hey, folks, welcome to A Player's Perspective. So glad to have you back in the house. Come on in, kick your feet up, relax. Bring all of your questions. We got a good show for you tonight. We got Georgia Tech's own QB, Taquan Marshall, number 16 on the field and number 1 in your heart. He's going to join us in about 15 minutes. Give us a little perspective about how he sees it from a quarterback's perspective.
Yes.
And let us know what's going on with him, man. And so we sure appreciated his time here on the flats. And now he's a grown-up.
Yeah.
And so he's out there doing his thing. So it's going to be good to hear from him, Kim.
Yeah, people always wonder what happens when you stop playing football or when football stops playing with you. You know, you have to grow up. We all become professionals at some point.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
In some way or another, we all do something else besides play football. It's a game that you don't get to play long.
It's hard to let go, though.
Oh, man.
It's hard to let go. I was letting somebody know the other day that typically you have, maybe 14 years of your life or, at least 12 years of your life dedicated to trying to make it and fulfill your dream as an NFL football player.
Yeah.
And you spend a lot of time in your youth, town football, Pop Warner, stuff like that. And then working your way through elementary school, middle school, high school, going to college. And then one day somebody lets you know that we no longer need your services.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to deal with, brother. That's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah, that thing is rough. Bill Parcells put it this way. He said, at some point in time, the bus is going to pull up to the station. And either you can get off willingly,
right,
or somebody going to throw you off. Somebody going to throw you off. And most of the times, with us, we're taking, dragging, screaming, and dragged off the bus, screaming and hollering and carrying on because we don't want to give it up. It's a fun game to play. It's really an exciting game to play, and and especially when you spent that much time in your life, trying to accomplish something, you want to play as long as you can. That's why I always tell these young kids, enjoy it while you got it.
Enjoy it while you have it. You're only young once. And having that discussion with my daughter the other, probably last night, I think it was. But you're talking about 18 years of what they consider a child, and when you turn 18, you're considered an adult.
Right.
Now we all know with kids today and everything else, you are not an adult at 18 years old.
No, you're not.
You still need some more time, okay? But the rest of those years after that is adulthood, and that's a long time.
Long
brother.
time.
That's a long time. This show is brought to you today by the Covington Agency. Knowledge is king, baby, and know-how is the key. You need to know these things when you're walking out to your car and you get in the car and you say, you know what, who do I have covering my auto?
Yeah.
And you're sitting in your house right now and you're looking and said, what company am I insured with to take care of my house?
Right.
you're looking around and you see things happening. It's like, who do I have life insurance with? And what is my agent's name? Well, see, all of those are problems, right? And I want you to get that taken care of by just giving me a call at 404-596-3951. Let's just talk about it, see what kind of exposures you got going on, but just get you educated and get you out there so that we know how to get you taken care of, okay? Let's keep it in the family.
There you go. Keep it all in the family. Keep it all in the family.
Absolutely. So it is a heartbreaking time.
Yep.
Because we all felt like we were on the upward swing and that our trip to Syracuse would be something that we could grow from instead of trying to learn from. You learn from everything, but when you go up there and you lose to a team you should have beaten, and it happens in the fashion that it happens, it leaves you scratching your head a little bit, tucking your tail a little bit, but you just want to know what happened. What happened? And but let's see. Let's do it this way.
That's a lot to unpack, I know.
Let's do it this way, Ken. Who or what was responsible for what happened on Saturday?
Well, what was the lack of focus?
Okay.
And the lack of, and of course, turnovers and all that good stuff. You can't. I just think the guys came out and played flat.
Mm-hmm.
I, did not anticipate that from this from this ball club at this juncture.
We did talk about it, right?
Yeah, we did talk about it, but you want to think and know that your team is going to be ready every time they step on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday they were not ready,
right.
And they were in a dangerous position because. Syracuse came out and had a little something to prove, had a little something to get, had to get that weight off of their shoulders. They hadn't scored but 16 points the whole season, and they end up putting a 37 burger on us.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. But see, now, right there at that point, I want to ask you because, see, to me, the way I saw Syracuse come out, it was that they expected to lose.
Nah,
I did not see in them no dog already. Like you talking about, they wanted to kind of get something going and everything. I mean, because they had the new renovated Carrier Dome, but there was nobody there. So it's no energy and anything like that. They had that PA system cranked up.
It was cranked up.
But at the same time, I think that they were seriously doubting what they could and could not do. And just watching what Georgia Tech had done, they really came into that game expecting the worst. And because of the turnovers and basically the energy that we gave them, they all of a sudden found themselves in a position to win. I don't really think that they really thought they could win.
I think they thought they could win.
Really?
I don't feel the same way you feel about on that point of it,
Yeah.
because I feel like we all go into games. We don't go into games thinking we losing.
No,
So we don't. I mean, and I understand what you're saying, but there were moments in time when they out hustled, not played Georgia Tech.
Okay.
And that was early on in the ball game when we were kind of meandering around, couldn't get focused, couldn't get snaps, couldn't block, and
couldn't.
Just couldn't.
That was the word. We just couldn't do.
Just couldn't do, and just missed assignments after missed assignment, and things were not right, and your young quarterback on the road. Blaring the speaker system, you get because it wasn't a crowd to really be bothered.
But these young kids are used to blaring noise.
And they're used to it. They practice with that system all week long.
Right.
I mean, that's something that we've been to that practices and have seen and heard the DJ out there and all that good stuff. That has nothing to do with it. I just think they had an off day and had an off moment as far as getting ready, as far as being ready to play and to compete. And for a program that has that as the moniker, that competition is king, we did not compete on Saturday to the fullest of our ability. I don't think that was one of the things that we did well. We did not compete well, and that was, that was kind of disheartening because I think the program took a step backwards.
Yeah,
I looked at that at this game, and I'm going to say it. I looked at this game. Losing this game felt like Citadel last year. Almost.
Well, it was. It was. Because we were predicted to be last in the conference this year, and the only team above us was Syracuse, and we actually lost to them, which kind of made them right for 1 week.
Yeah.
For 1 week.
Yeah.
Now, we had a chance, though, to kind of prove them wrong and do our thing and go out there and build from that and grow. But see, it reminded me of that guy that just comes out with all this confidence, kind of like the Kevin Hart kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? Kind of puffed up. Yeah, we ready, until he gets that nice jab across the chin.
Right.
And he realized he ain't ready.
He ain't ready. Right.
So it's to me, it was that. And just to get into that rhythm of just going down there and scoring, taking care of the ball, we ran very well. Okay, we were running very well. The offensive line up front was doing pretty good, and our protections were okay, but we weren't picking up the blitzes. And now we're gonna get into that a little bit later too. But it was kind of those same old mistakes and things that we've seen as players, watching us over the last 11, 12 years, different things. I can remember us starting with the option and just driving down the field, getting down to the red zone, and somebody jumps off sides. And we just kill the drive, right? So to me, all of that's on film. All of that's been understood. All that's understood as us having those ills and those challenges. And then it's that one thing, playing down to your competition.
Yeah.
We do it on the basketball court. We do it on this doggone gridiron.
Yeah.
And I think that is something systemically that we continue to do year after year that we have to get rid of. And to me, because of the precedent that's been set, we should have been able to be better prepared to know what we were up against to come out and play better.
Yeah, and Coach Babers he's a good coach.
Yeah.
He had his guys ready, and his guys responded. I'm pretty sure that was a challenge.
He had this look on. His
Yeah.
eyes were a little buck, and then he just pulled it down and was like, "We actually gonna win this thing."
No,
go back and watch it.
You putting way too much on.
I'm telling you.
Let me tell you, man. You putting way too much on it. Coach Babers is a good coach.
Marcy Hall agrees with me.
Syracuse, I'm not. She might, and I know she. I understand that she's one of the biggest fans Georgia Tech probably has had in a long time. But when you look at Coach Babers, he's a good coach. They just hadn't found their way this year. They ended up getting some success and having success on first down, second down.
Right.
And next thing you know, we're in a dogfight and we're not prepared. We're turning the ball over in positive territory. We're throwing interceptions and doing the different things that we did in order for them to take advantage of, and they took advantage of everything that we gave them.
Oh my goodness!
They took advantage of everything that we gave them, and we were talking as the game was going on, and we were texting back and forth and talking and this, that, and the third. Is there anything do you think that could have been done differently as far as in the quarterback situation? Do you think maybe we could have taken Jeff out a little bit earlier, just to settle him down, not to take him out of the ball game to bench him or to say he's not coming back, but just to settle his nerves down a little bit in that early going, get him off the field and let him see some different things, and then insert him back in.
Well, yeah, and we talked about that even during the UCF game. I think that as a young person that's going through a lot, he's going to be learning a lot. You come from high school and you kind of think that you know a lot. You get into that meeting room and you realize you know nothing. And then you start learning all of these different coverages, disguises, all of this stuff that you have to do. We still haven't found out if they have the ability to check at the line, to audible.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things to understand that how much pressure is coming upon him, but he got into normally you scale down your play calling, your playbook. And so he did very well, had some mistakes like we saw, but we thought those mistakes were correctable in the FSU game. When you came out into the UCF game, kind of still had some of those issues. Now, one of those things that you're talking about to answer your question is doing something differently has to do with the way you actually set up to throw the ball, use your feet and everything else when you have pressure.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you see a guy coming at you with your hands up, maybe you don't just try to force it right in there because you know that this cat can knock it down, whatever. Maybe it's taking an extra step to the left, to the right, or just go ahead and tuck it and run with the ball, okay? So there's going to be a lot of these little things that I'm wondering too, Ken, is if they are talking about this in the film room and they're working on this on the practice field, if that is the discussion, because you have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so if you know you can't fully get something off, you don't throw it.
Right.
Because protecting the ball applies there just as well as a guy that's running the rock, letting the ball get away from his body in a crowd.
Right.
You know, or cutting across the field and moving the ball around. You know, little things like that are going to be what he's going to have to adjust with, not his mechanics, not the way he throws the ball, but just when he throws that ball.
Yeah.
So something else I was looking at and wondering too, and I'm sorry for coming away from the mic, but at the same time, I wanted to find out, is he getting his drops properly?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're supposed to take a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop, and typically for young kids, they don't get deep enough.
Well, everything is in the shotgun, so he's already. You know,
But sometimes you're still supposed to drop back.
But
2 or 3
yeah.
steps.
I mean, and the footwork, that footwork process is the thing that has to get, you know, corrected
and everything else
done right. Now I tell you what I did find out. I found out 2 things Saturday, and then we'll go to our caller.
Mm-hmm.
Found out number one, FSU is in trouble.
Yes, they are.
They got a real bad squad.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I also found out that Jeff Sims
with 4 and 5 stars out there,
yeah.
APP Nation.
Yeah, and but it does no good to have 4 and 5 stars if they're not going to be coached up and coached properly. I mean, and that goes for us too.
That it sure does.
We've got to be coached up and make sure that's happening. Second thing I found out was that maybe Jeff Sims is the only hope we have to win games. Okay. Because you know I think that's what the mindset is.
Right.
We're giving him the keys and we're gonna let him go and let him do. And yeah, I want to see Tyler Yates. And I'm trying to. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a part of the program. I don't really know. I'm trying to find out what happened to James Graham. You know, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to. Is he on a milk carton somewhere?
Well, maybe we can find something out with our next call.
Hope so.
Maybe we can do something like that. But all the way from Columbus, Georgia, baby, through Harris County High School comes the man, the myth, the legend, number 16. One number short of that 17, but he is still the man, okay? And we love him. Quarterback, Mr. Taquan Marshall's joining us tonight. Taquan, are you on the phone?
I'm here. What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing so well right now. I can't even stand myself. That's the way.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's right. That's right. Well, so glad that you're able to take some time out to join Ken and I on the show tonight. What's been happening with you, man? What's going on? Speak to the Players Perspective Nation out there.
Not much, man. I've been training and stuff. Still waiting on the opportunity at the next level.
Awesome.
I had an opportunity with CFL, but as you know, Corona came down, so the pandemic kind of put everything at a halt. But
gotcha.
Still just been grinding, working out, just staying in tune.
Good stuff. Now you also trying to work a little bit on to get in front of the camera and do some things there. Is that still a goal of yours?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a possibility. I enjoy talking sports and being on the radio, so it's definitely something that I keep in the back of my mind.
Well, I'm so glad that you're keeping the dream alive of playing ball. I believe that your talents could be used somewhere out there, and it's just important of just keeping in shape and being ready when that phone call comes. And so that's awesome and exciting out there.
Hey, Taquan, this is Ken Swilling. Hey, just want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Yes, sir.
I just saw that your birthday was on the 20th. Mine was on the 25th, so You're a Virgo, I'm a Leo, but I'm a Libra rather. So I understand. It's all good. We all in the month of September, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What I want to ask you is, from what you've seen, I don't know how much of the Georgia Tech you've got a chance to watch this year. I'm pretty sure you like the rest of us old ball players now. We look at the games and we kind of wish for days, and you still can play. And me and Tom don't have that option. Don't have that option that where we can play. But thus far, from what you've seen from Georgia Tech, Coach Collins and this young freshman quarterback Jeff Sims. What have you noticed and what have you saw that maybe could be improved on, or how impressed have you been with what you've seen so far?
I've definitely been impressed. I feel like this year we put the ball in the air a lot more. I know last year we kind of struggled with putting the ball in the air, really finding our identity on the offensive end. I feel like this year we kind of have an identity where we have a young guy that can sling it around, who can also make plays with his feet. But we're not taking care of the ball enough. Turning the ball over on when we could easily get maybe 3 points or even 7. Mm-hmm. And it's changing the game a lot when it comes down to third quarter, fourth quarter, when we're down, where we really should be up or could be up. We're having those early turnovers, and I feel like we're keeping the defense on the field too frequently with the turnovers. Yeah. But other than that, I like what I see. I feel like this is a year where it's, it doesn't really count against anyone, and this season is just one of those where we're still trying to find our identity, and I feel like as of right now we're headed in the right direction. We just got to put everything together and play a complete game instead of just playing a complete half.
You're absolutely right about that, of getting that free year, of getting out there doing some things. And then, of course, in our transition as a program, we're still in just year 2. Even when we played, we needed 2 years too. Our first 2 years weren't great either. But at the same time, from a quarterback's perspective, we were just talking about something. Jeff's getting a lot of balls batted in the air, knocked down quickly, getting his arm blocked and that kind of stuff. From your perspective, is there a way to avoid that? Is there something that you can do as a quarterback to minimize those type of situations?
Yeah, for sure. When you're playing quarterback, it's kind of a feel thing. Like for me, I could feel when I had pressure really close to me, and I feel like Jeff needs to get that clock in his head. And I feel like sometimes he has that clock in his head, and he gets out of situations, but other times it just feels like he's trying to wait on something a little too long.
Right.
And then by the time that comes, he's trying to get rid of the ball, but then it's too late. So I feel like he should just keep that internal clock going, and when he maybe it's an experience thing. Once he gets a little bit more experience, he'll be able to have that feel for when he feel like he should pull it down or run or get outside of the pocket and make a play.
There you go, and I totally agree with you on that, and that's something of a sixth sense that we used to talk about in football for the good ones, like yourself, to recognize that pressure, to know what's about to happen around you, so that you can react and those type of things. Now, he's a young guy, and you were a young guy back there. What's going through a young guy's mindset when he's actually out there taking on a program like this with a lot of fanfare behind him? And I can almost look, towards, a couple games with you being out there and everything else in those big moments. Tell me what goes through your mind and your preparation, and then just being out there trying to perform and do the best you can.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm not sure how complex their offense is that they run now. I know we ran triple option. It wasn't very complex. It was the way it was coached and the way we were taught. It was very simple how we did things. So I'm not really sure on how complex their offense is, so I can't really speak for what they're doing. But for me, during the week, I just tried to prepare the best way I could by watching film and just understanding what our game plan was, and understanding that, okay, if I saw this when I was on the field, then I knew what I was going to do. And I feel like if Jeff is doing, I'm not sure if he is really tuning in to to film throughout the week or how he's preparing. But I feel like if he's doing that, then he'll definitely be able to play a lot smoother. And I feel like in the first game against Florida State, you could tell the poise he had, even though he
Right.
made 2 early mistakes
Mhm.
early on, but you could just tell the poise that he had, like he had actually, for the first game, you prepared for it all throughout camp, so you could
Right.
actually tell the preparation that was done for that game. Now, I don't know how it has been for the past 2 games since it's a short week,
Right.
and you only get 3 or 4 days to really prepare. So, but for me, I just tried to see everything mentally, and when everything slows down mentally, the game is just a lot slower, and you'll just be able to play a lot more free.
Yeah. It makes a lot of difference when you start school too. When school starts, classes start, you get involved. That really messes with your. I'm gonna say messes with you, but that kind of delays your time as far as how much time you can spend watching film. You know, and you know as well as I know, that's probably the most important thing you do as a player besides go to practice and train.
Right.
You know, is watch film. Taekwon, when you were there at Tech, how much film did you watch? How much did you actually get a chance to sit down and I'm talking about independently, not with a coach or not with somebody that was there.
Typically, I would watch film on my own. Well, I would watch the film after the games we play. I would watch the game, and then of course we go in and watch it with coach on Mondays, and then I would start watching film on the other team after practice on Mondays, and then of course we'd watch it throughout the week, and I would try to get my schoolwork in. But a lot of the times I would try to watch a little film before I went to bed, but then I would watch some on Fridays as well, before Saturday kickoff.
Now, in that situation, did you sort of have your own idea of what you were looking for, or would Coach kind of give you sort of like a little checklist of stuff that you needed to check out, watch, look for, that kind of thing? How did that go?
Well, by the time the game plan was put in, I already knew basically what I was looking for. So it was, I just kind of honed in on that. And when I watch film, that's some of the things that I look for. I tried to look for some keys that defenses would give away, so that would help me out when it came time to play on Saturdays.
Now, something else Ken and I used to look at each other and wanted to know too was, especially in, coming off of a loss, going into a bye week, those type of things, or just being in a situation where you got to get better and now you've got some time. This is like a week where you don't play against other competition, but you're actually playing against yourself, trying to basically develop and get rid of some of the bad habits, get some of the good habits going, correcting some of the ills and getting better. So in an off week, how did you approach that? And then as a team, collectively, was it important for leaders and everything to step up during this time? How was that communication done on off weeks?
Well, I feel like it kind of depends on how you're going into the off week, and like for Georgia Tech in the instance now, we're going into the off weeks off of a loss, so your mindset is going to be completely different going into the bye week off of a loss compared to win. But just depending on that, that's kind of how you would go about the bye week. But it would just be like any other week. It's almost like a camp. You're having that extra week to actually prepare for the team, so everything is going to be a lot more slowed down mentally by the time you actually play the team you're going to play, just because you have so much time to prepare. And, of course, the leadership piece, I think a lot of the leaders on the team definitely will step up, and you try to step up and, and voice how you feel the bye week should go or how you feel practice should go for that week, and just kind of voice your opinion on what things you feel should be worked on, so that when it is time to get back on the field, you want to show that a bye week just wasn't a waste of time. You actually, improved on something and you can actually apply it to the game.
Exactly. You're listening to quarterback number 16, Taekwon Marshall, here on A Player's Perspective.
Yeah, Taekwon, I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed watching you play. There were times when you would hit the corner, and Tommy and I would be in the press box, and we go to grab it, hitting on each other.
Look
Like
at that, look at that.
this kid is got it. He's got it. He's
Yes,
got
sir.
it. I know you're still available to play and still trying to make inroads. The switch to wide receiver, how has that been, and how has that gone for you?
It's been well. Of course, it was a little challenging in the beginning just because I hadn't really played receiver since high school, and of course I played a little A-back my freshman year, but it's not the same as lining up out wide, going up against a DB, figuring out what kind of release you should use, running routes very crisp, and just the details in the routes and counting steps and things like that. So I would say over a year's time, I mean, I've definitely perfected the craft and really honed in on some of the key things it takes to being a receiver. So it's definitely gone well. And like I said though in the beginning, it was a little difficult. Even though I consider myself pretty athletic, it was kind of challenging. But I've enjoyed the switch and.
See, you should have just went on over to the other side of the ball, man. You should have just went on to be a good cornerback.
I've heard that. That's for sure.
Now, you played a little defense, didn't you, in high school?
Yeah, I played a little cornerback in high school.
Okay. So is that just something that you just don't want to do? You like the offensive side?
Oh no, I'm not opposed to playing defense, but I mean I definitely enjoy having the ball in my hand.
I was going to say he liked the ball in his
yes,
hand.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I can identify with that. I can identify.
Yeah, that's the mindset I have on switching to receiver. I like having the ball in my hand. So.
Yeah.
Now, you working out with somebody? You got a coach, a trainer? What you got going on?
Yeah, so my receiver coach I've been working with a lot with. His name is Hilton Alexander, but he goes by Route King. I know a lot of people probably have heard of him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Route King, there you go. Now, make sure that your kicks are fresh. Check out our guest that was on here a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Jeff Henderson, a Tech alum with 99 Products. He's got a great running shoe out there. So you might want to look him up too. Maybe he could be kind of your title guy.
There you go.
To get them sneakers and those cleats, because he was talking about implementing some of that stuff soon, so you guys can kind of collaborate on that and kind of make something look fresh out there in the kickwear. I love them. They're nice shoes and everything, brother. So, I think you should look them up. Check out some of our old clips and shows and advertisements on the webpage, and you know what I'm talking about. Or just hit me up. I'll get you the number.
What's the name of his company?
It's 99 Products.
99 Products.
99 Products. There you go. There you go. So, and that'll be the Taekwon shoe. That's the Taekwon shoe.
I'll definitely checking that out.
There you go. Now, something I was thinking about, too, was that, David Curry, I think, was there prior to you coming, and he's going to be there about 4 years after you leaving. And so playing with David, what do you think that's going through a person like him who has matured into a leader, but still is having some challenges out there communicating with and getting his defense the way he wants it? What do you think a guy like that is going through right now?
I don't know. It's always funny because David came in my class, and me and a lot of my buddies were always like, dang, we can't believe David's still there.
Still there. And he could play one more year, Taekwon. He could play one more year.
I know it is crazy. But having a guy out there like him is, I feel like a lot of teams don't get that opportunity to have someone who's been in the program so long and also so experienced and has. I mean, he's played in big games. He's been in all types of moments. So I think having someone out there like that is definitely beneficial. So for Tech is definitely a great benefit. Now they have to definitely make sure they're using that benefit and making sure that everything that he does is helping the team out and benefiting them in a successful way.
There you go. There you go. Now, something I also wanted to know, and this was something that kind of, Ken and I hash out and stuff, and we really couldn't ask you guys this stuff, when we were interviewing you, but, stuff is, we kind of grown up, we got beyond it a little bit, but at the same time, I used to always wonder, Taekwon, you guys did a phenomenal job with the pass in high school and different things like that, but you tend to struggle at times with the pass on the college level. Kind of explain to me kind of what happened there. What would you see was maybe some of the challenges you had? Was it because you were running the option a lot and didn't get a chance to throw a lot in practice? Or what was it? What was it that you felt like was some of the things that hindered you to do like you wanted to do? Because I remember the time when you said you were begging coach to pass more, and things didn't quite go your way. But let us know what's going on with that.
I feel like, especially when I was there, I feel like sometimes in practice, the passing game wasn't as successful as coach would have wanted it to be. So maybe he didn't feel as comfortable with throwing in the game. Now, for me personally, I enjoy passing, and my passing did fall off, but I feel like that's also because of consistency. When you, run the ball 20 times to one pass, it's definitely hard being consistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to throw the ball, and that always upset me as a player because I heard all the critics. I've seen it all where people say, "Oh, he can't throw." But I know I can throw the ball. I threw a lot in high school and the type of offense that we ran. But it's definitely just a consistency piece. Like I feel like for example, in the first game, Jet threw 30 plus times.
Right.
Like if you're throwing the ball that much, then you're gonna be able to get into a rhythm and actually get into your drop and be consistent with it, and then find your rhythm in your arm slot and things like that. When you're not throwing that much, it's kind of hard to do that.
Right.
Not that it's an excuse. You should still be able to complete passes, but definitely consistency was the thing for me. If we had done it more consistently, then I feel like maybe it would have been a little bit more successful with it.
I agree with you. You know, that was probably my biggest gripe. I was like, they don't throw the ball enough. They don't throw the ball enough. And then when the one or two times that we did throw, we would have an overthrow, or that you could tell that was an excitement. And sometimes when you don't do something all the time and you're excited about it, you get a little bit more anxious about doing it, and you have that overthrow or the misfortune of not connecting on a big play. But I'm just grateful. We're just thankful for this opportunity to have to talk with you, and thank you for taking out the time with us and being on our show tonight. We just want to say thank you and really, really appreciate you. This has been Taekwon Marshall,
yes, sir,
talking with us this evening at A Player's Perspective, and we're just grateful, Taekwon. We pray that you will be blessed and highly favored in every endeavor that you have going on, and we pray that you will continue to do what you can do, and we pray for your success in every area of your life and whatever you choose to do. We're just thankful for you coming on the show tonight, and we love you as a Yellow Jacket, and we'll always be there for you, brother. Anything we can do, please call and reach out to us and let us know.
Yeah, call Ken and he'll get you a contract. It's willing to get you a contract, brother. You know what I'm saying? So you can get the little backdoor ties going on.
There you go.
But I tell you what, keep your hope alive, because they about to clear house down there with them Falcons. So they're going to need somebody to come up in there and change things down there. Before you go, just let us know maybe some of the highs or lows, some of the things that you really, enjoyed about your time at Tech, and then, maybe a couple of regrets, but, stuff that you really can be excited about taking on, for the rest of your life, because now you're an alum like us. And those days are kind of behind us, but, it's kind of hard, too, to get to that point in life where there's no more football. And so that's why we definitely pray that that will be extended in your life and you can continue to do it. But just let us know some of the, highs and lows that you experienced at Georgia Tech.
I start off with the highs. The people that I met at Tech, even my teammates, just going in, I felt like on day one, I felt like I had knew them for really my whole life, and just that brotherhood atmosphere, the camaraderie, the locker room. I tell people all the time, like when it's over in college, the one thing you're gonna miss the most besides playing on Saturdays is just being in the locker room with your boys.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Being able to hang out all the time.
Yep.
You know, you get tired of each other, but you don't realize how much you'll miss it until you don't really have it there anymore. So that's definitely one of the highlights of it. And, of course, played in some big games at Tech that I really enjoyed being a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I wouldn't really say I had any lows. I really didn't. It wasn't really anything while I was at Tech that I really didn't like. I enjoyed being in the city of Atlanta. There was always something to do. There's a lot of connections that you can get plugged in with while being in Atlanta. So yeah, I wouldn't say I really have any lows. I enjoyed my time, my 4 years in Atlanta, being at Georgia Tech.
So I hear you, brother. I hear what you're saying because Ken and I felt the same way. I mean, you know, when we were low, all we had to do is hit them streets in Atlanta, and we were all right. We got things back on track. But, brother, yeah, enjoy talking to you. Looking forward to talking to you some more. I know everybody was excited about you coming on the show, and those that were not able going to be excited to know that you were here. They can always check in with the Players Perspective and get the perspective from all of our Yellow Jackets. And talking Yellow Jacket talk all the time, that sports talk. Taquan Marshall right here today. Thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to things clearing back up so we can all get back up to
Amen.
Bobby
Oh, yeah.
Dodd
There you go.
and get some tailgating and stuff in.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. That'd be
Absolutely.
awesome.
We're going to get it done. Have a great one, brother. God bless now.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, do the same.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was, no, I'm not going to do it to him. we were talking about.
Yes. Please don't do that.
Love my boy out there. He did a great job, man, for us right here on the flats. Awesome person. And I'm sure that everybody that gets a chance to meet him, do it. All you coaches out there, you looking for somebody on your team, on your roster that you can rely on and bring a positive attitude to your team, call up Mr. Taquan Marshall.
Yeah.
I'm his agent too, so 404.
Does he know this?
We're going to talk about that after the show. You know what I'm saying? We'll get that taken care of. All right. But, yeah, contact his agent and then get that boy on the field. He needs to be on the field. Absolutely. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. Good to catch up with him. Good to talk to him, and good to know that he's still got ambition and drive to get out there and do it.
It's hard to give it up, though.
Oh man, it's really hard to give it up, especially when you're young, when you're still have the ability to do some things. It's really hard to give it up. I remember, when things not going well for me and all that good stuff, and I was about 23 or 24, and a last ditch effort trying to go back and play and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hard. I tell people all the time, you just don't know what it feels like to have 50 or 60 or 80,000 people chanting and cheering for you.
Yes.
And on a Saturday afternoon or any given Saturday afternoon, people are really there to see you play and coming out to see you play, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone.
And
right.
and now you're left to kind of deal with the psychology of dealing with life and what's going to happen next and all of that good stuff, and you try to maneuver and trying to get yourself through that portion of it, especially if you have aspirations of playing on another level.
On another level.
That makes it a little bit hard. So yeah, I can tell you it was real hard to let it go. Real hard to let it go.
And he hit the nail right on the head when he's talking about the camaraderie with the brothers.
Oh, man, yeah.
And we could think about either sitting in our dorm rooms or sitting. I mean, something that I'll never forget was my freshman year when they didn't have the AC on in Woodruff.
Okay.
And we was sweating like pigs up in there. And we all came outside and kind of, we came outside to cool off in the 87-degree humidity in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
and just hanging out with like all the brothers and then all the basketball players that were
Right,
there at the
right.
same time and just laughing and giggling, doing the stuff. Those were some great memories,
Great
man.
memories. Great
and,
memories.
and opportunities to do that. But yeah, the locker room talk, brother, the hanging out, the trips, the bus rides, the plane rides,
The card games.
card games.
I think you owe me some money from Tonk right now.
No, because we played pot and you lost it all right there. Shout out to E. Bill and Eric Bellamy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Mm-mm-mm.
But it was some good times happening right there. And I was just looking at a picture today, old Charlie Simmons. I had to, be around him during my administration. So I kind of extended that a little bit,
Right.
with a lot of these guys and was really close to them.
Old Chuck.
Chris Edwards and, a lot of these guys, Jimmy Clements and all these guys too that, it's something. And then, we talk about it all the time because whenever we get closer, we always say we're going to get together. We're going
Yeah.
to stay closer and
Yeah.
everything else. But life just takes you away.
Life takes you into a whole different stratosphere.
Yes,
a lot
it
of times
does.
It takes you all over the place and all over the map, and especially when you start getting kids, a job, a mortgage, a car note, and all that good stuff. Now you got obligations that you got to meet and you got to
Right.
take care of. So it football becomes the diminished part of it, but you're always a Yellow Jacket. You're always a part of it. But it's just and you don't really realize what you had sometimes until it's gone.
Until it's gone.
Until it's gone. And that's why I always tell kids that are playing high school ball. Some people, some guys will never go past high school.
Right. That's right.
Some won't ever go past middle school.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Some won't ever go past college. But whatever you're doing and where capacity you are, give it your best. Give it your all because you never know at what moment it's going to be snatched away from you.
I remember seeing as an academic advisor in an NCAA manual the numbers, Ken, about those entering high school to play football. And I remember that number being close to 1 million, okay, of kids playing football as freshmen all across the country. And that number whittles all the way down to being just 200 people being selected
Yeah.
to play in the NFL,
There you go.
and only 100 of them making it.
There you go.
And then out of that 100, not lasting more than 2.7 years.
There you go.
So it's gosh, the diminishing value
Yeah.
of what's going on right there is incredible
Yeah.
for what they're going to do. This is an open week. We're playing against ourselves, like I mentioned earlier in the show, Ken. So what is it that we are and we should be out there working on this week?
Well, you got to self-scout. You got to find out what you're doing. This is a week you need to get back to basics. We need to get back to blocking, tackling, and doing the things that are necessary for us to do, holding on to the blame football, not turning the ball over. Because if you don't have the ball, you can't score.
Can't score. You can't.
You can't score.
Guys,
you know.
if there's one thing that you have to understand, and I can hear my high school coach yelling right now, but you got to hold on to that ball. That ball is the most valuable thing on the field, and when you have it, you keep it, and the only time you give it up is to the ref after you score in the end zone.
And because when you got the ball, you're controlling the game.
You control it.
You control the game, and at that moment you're king. So you have to. I think that's what has to be driven home. That has to be driven home this week, doing this bye week, leading up to Louisville. You gotta keep the ball.
Yeah.
You gotta protect it at all costs. You gotta do things, and if you're on the defensive side of the ball, we gotta get it back.
Got to get it back. That's right.
We gotta get it back.
So speaking of defense, what did you see Saturday? What was the highs and the lows, the good and the bad?
Lowe's secondary, we don't play well. Didn't play well in the secondary. And then we weren't able to get really a substantial amount of pressure up front. So that plays the length of it a lot of times. It just and we got to tackle better.
Yeah.
Got to tackle a lot better. We can't come up and just sling people down and assume that they're going to be on the ground because we slung them.
Right.
You know, you got to put pads on people, and you got to put hats on people, and you got to get them to the ground, tackle them to the ground. I can hear O'Leary now.
And wait for the
Tackle 'em to
whistle, right?
ground. Yeah, and wait, and the whistle's got to blow.
The whistle's got to
What
blow.
the whistle got to blow? You got to play to the whistle, play to the echo of the whistle,
That's
or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Play till the whistle blows. From a defensive standpoint, I know we're still missing some guys that will help us on the back end, but
number 11 was out there. Clayton.
And he did some things. He got a little bit of pressure up front, and sometimes he was a dancing bear.
Yeah.
So
A little rusty.
I think he's a little rusty from the standpoint of not being in a competitive game. It's just what 2 years since
removed since he even touched
he's
a
been
field.
been in a competitive game.
Yeah.
But getting back to what we always talk about is winning. This is a game we should have won. This is a game I know Coach came on this program, and he took total blame for X, Y, and Z. Kind of sold us off of don't blame the kids, blame me.
Blame me, that right?
Right, I'm
right.
like, if it's something that needs to be fixed, then this is the week to fix it.
You got to get it done.
This is the week that we got to get it done, because we've got to move, from the point of selling the program.
Yeah.
We've got to move from that point on into winning and setting up standards, because you can sell people all day long and you can get people in here. But as I said before, if we can't coach them up, if we can't put them in the right position, if they can't play,
Right.
then what are we really
What
doing?
you good for? And I think that right there pretty much sums it up, Ken, is that we have to learn how to win. And then in the immortal words of Coach Friedgen, learn how not to lose.
Well,
Because winning is what's going to change
that's it.
this program.
Yeah.
It could be an ugly win. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be pretty every week. But the thing is at the end of the day, you can talk about how we added another tick to the win column.
Right.
And that's where I think for our guys, we just have to focus on how to win games and how not to lose them.
And you want to see the progression each week getting better and better and better. You don't want to see a regression like we saw last week.
Right.
I think because at this point you take a step forward. You beat Florida State. Okay, it's you beat them. It's in name only.
Yeah,
Florida State is still a name.
That's true.
I don't care how we look at it.
Right.
You played a heck of a. You gave up in the first half. You gave up 10 points. You played a great second half. Only gave up 3 points in the second half. Scored your points that you needed to win the ball game. You come off of that and you have a kind of a malaise looking, kind of crazy game against UCF.
So you got to learn how to take control of
Yeah.
the momentum.
The momentum, yeah. And you get that momentum, and you're 10 minutes into the fourth. You're 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the UCF game. You're down by 7 points,
Right.
and you end up losing by 28 or whatever.
I don't know what the heck that was.
But it's crazy, and it's almost like you're letting go of the rope
Right.
at moments.
Right.
And I think that's from the coaching staff to the players to all of that. But all of that, turning the ball over that's almost like an unforgivable sin almost
It
to
really
me,
is.
because it's catastrophic.
Yeah.
When we're doing it right now.
Because you went from where nobody expected you to do anything this year to beating a program like FSU to where that was a big deal.
Right.
Because you didn't know who FSU was,
Right.
and you beat that program.
Right.
To the next week, almost beating a team that's the hottest team in college football.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hasn't lost since 2016.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
Craziness. And you are down just 7. And then and so if you even run that course and you lose to them by 7,
I feel better. If we lose by 7, if nothing else changes in that game, I lose by 7, I feel like my program has taken a step.
it's taking a step because you get a tick in a loss column, but everybody's talking about you.
Right.
So the program wins.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
See, I always talked about the importance of being ranked. A lot of coaches dump on that during the year. It doesn't matter if you're ranked during the year. It's only at the end of the year. I can understand some of that. But the thing I'm looking at in building a program is that when you watch an ESPN, if you're in the top 10, those people sitting behind the podium are always talking about
the
your
top,
program.
Top 10, that's right.
Okay, there's banners going around with Georgia Tech number 10 or Georgia Tech number 15 or whatever it is, but that GT is being shown.
Right.
And for every kid and everybody that's looking at that, they're recognizing that that program is one of the top programs in the country.
Right.
So the expectations of where to go, and how to handle it
Right.
is a lot of what we got to talk about this weekend too, because that's on the talk side.
Right.
But on the doing side, you have to start showing up with the athletic ability and talents and the acumen that we all have earned over the years, and we believe that the athletes have,
Right.
and including the coaches too.
Right. Yeah, and then that leads to last week against Syracuse. You can't have weeks like that.
You can't.
You can't, and that's why I compared last week to Citadel.
Right.
Because that was a game last year that the Citadel is a game that you cannot lose.
It's like looking at an ant or a roach, right? And you just go to step on it, and you end up slipping on them.
Right. And break
he
your
wins.
and break your hip or
And
something
break your
crazy.
hip or something crazy. You just lost to the ant. Yeah.
You know,
you
but
can't do that.
you know, and that's one of those things. And I'm not saying that Georgia Tech is that much better than Syracuse, but it was a game that I think was at hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a game that we should have won.
Yep.
We cannot play that bad.
Nope.
Again this year, if we're going to even contend in any game. Now, out of the winnable ball games that we have, that was one of them.
Right.
So you just lost a winnable ball game,
Right.
or what we assumed to be a winnable ball game, and now the rest of your schedule is pretty tough.
It's pretty tough
Pretty
schedule.
tough here on out. So it's hard pressed to look at that schedule and actually find a win. I'm not going to tell y'all what I told Tommy off the air. So. But it's gonna be, we're gonna be hard pressed to really get down in there and dig out a few wins and trying to see where we are. But and it's time out now.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, we got to stop selling. We got to start coaching,
It does, yep.
and guys got to start winning. I know we in year 2, but when you show me against Florida State that you can do what you can be.
Right.
And then you show me for 3 quarters against UCF what you can be.
Right.
And then you show me that crap what you showed me last weekend.
Right.
I don't know what to believe.
You just don't know what to believe. And we know from what we are understanding here and what's going on, we love the direction, okay? So far as administratively, culture-wise, everything else, it's moving in the right direction.
Right.
Okay, but now what you got to do is just continue. I was telling somebody today, I was jokingly with him because he was talking about the 2021 class.
Right.
And what I told him was, you got to be a little quiet about that because there's a lot of underrated players that are out there.
Right.
And the thing is, you still won't probably get a chance to really see what they can do because of what's going on, right? So Coach has done a great job with that 2021 class. I know a lot of those players that are on there, and they're going to be very good for Georgia Tech. So now, at the same time, what you have to understand is that as a player now, coaching them and the AD and everybody's doing their job with that, but as a player, you got to come across and understand that it's about just finding a way to win.
There you go.
You've got to find a way to win. Play outside of yourself. Get yourself going. Do your extra preparation. When you watch tape, something I was thinking about too, Ken, is that how sometimes you get to a spot a second late and you missed a chance for an interception, or you missed a chance for a sack, or you didn't quite make the throw, or you didn't quite come out of your route the way you wanted to do. The way that you fix that is being able to recognize it a second earlier too.
Right.
Because if you do that, then you can make a quicker decision.
Well, all that
And
comes,
react a little
all
better.
that comes, as you said, comes from watching film, though,
Mm-hmm,
and that slows the game down. Taquan talked about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch film, the game slows down.
It does.
I mean, and you know what's coming.
Right.
You know where to be.
Yep.
And now it's athlete on athlete at that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And sometimes. And sometimes that does help. Sometimes if a guy's a better athlete than you, he gonna win some.
He's going to win some. You look at somebody like Ramsey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defensive back, okay, playing now with Was he with the
Oh, you talking about
Dolphins?
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey,
Uh-huh.
right? And I was watching some of that. It was a Hard Knocks
Mhm.
that they were doing, and I can see. First of all, he believes that there's no one better than himself.
Yeah, you got to.
You have to. And then I listen to guys that have gone against him and doing some things, and they just can't believe how good he is and what he's doing. Now, the thing is that against other receivers or other people, they were able to fake somebody out, get separation, beat them on a deep pass, stuff like that. But what makes him so great isn't because he's a god. It's his preparation and understanding that when a guy moves this way or does this, I know where he's going before he gets there.
Right.
And that's what you got to do. If you don't have the natural ability to just dominate, then you've got to get smarter, right?
Yeah.
And figure out ways how to compete and to stay out there and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up pretty much to the end of the show,
Yeah,
buddy.
there you go.
Another hour is gone.
Down.
These hours just don't
down.
take. They just don't go like
they just come and they go. They come and they go.
It's crazy to think that it's another Thursday too.
Another
I'm
Thursday.
happy it is.
I'm
We get a
happy.
chance to come out here with our peoples.
I'm not.
You know?
I'm happy we here, and I'm happy we're with Kim, and
Yeah.
and I'm happy that we're on the show and all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
this Thursday means that it's going to be Friday tomorrow, and
Right.
which is going to be, this weekend is going to end my 2-week
To
vacation.
vacation.
so I have to go
Well,
back
we're
to
going
work
to pray
next
that
week.
the Lord will make these last days go very, very slow.
Well, you
And
know,
for those that are trying to get it to go fast, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
this week. Not this week. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us here on A Player's Perspective. It is our joy to talk about our athletes down there on North Avenue and to talk and to root them on and to look for a program that's about to grow and get them back to the level that we once were, and to enjoy the process
Yeah.
of that happening. And so please like our page, share it with other people, talk about what we're doing here. Hope you guys enjoyed our guest with Mr. Taquan Marshall,
There you go.
and look forward to some more future guests and more people to come on the show next week that we can insight, and also to have a chance to talk about an upcoming game next
There you
week.
go. There you
That's
go.
going to be on Friday night.
Friday night. Friday night lights,
That's
baby.
the Cardinals.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be nice. That'll be real nice.
That's a team that's kind of thought they were better than they were,
yeah.
and they're not sure what's going on. So if you're looking for another opportunity, Ken,
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah. Tommy, let's talk about it next week.
They're good.
Let's talk about it next
But
week.
let's talk about
Let's
an
talk about it next
opportunity.
week.
Okay. There we go. Have a great night. Love y'all guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Are you experiencing fatigue? Can't seem to lose those unwanted pounds? Trouble focusing? Perhaps you need a really good detox regimen. Look no further. Begin your Tava lifestyle today. Visit kqtavana.tavalifestyle.com or call Queen Covington at 404-226-0973 for more info. Your health is your wealth, and it's right around the corner. Own it today.
What a time to be alive!